Hello and welcome back to my 2023 Tour de Vie coverage. We're on day 14. Let's have a look at the tracker and see what's been going on. And it looks like we're going to have a winner of the Tour de Vie. Ulrich Bartholomew, he's maintained his gap over Justinus and he's just about to head into Silver City. So he is 4 miles out. He'll be on the tarmac rolling into town for his last major resupply before the finish. He has dropped off Mike Hall's record pace. So this is the final off-road section here. I'll just show and ride with GPS for a bit more clarity. So Silver City here, as you can see, Ulrich will be rolling down this hill here into Silver City, and then he's got a little bit of tarmac, and then the final off-road section through the desert before he hits the final run into the finish at Antelope Wells. Now Mike Hall's record dot is just coming off the off-road section here, so it looks like he's probably going to be 3 or 4 hours behind Mike's record pace if he continues the way he is. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. Justinus is still in second place, but he's been having some real difficulties. So I had some messages from him. It would have been yesterday, so nearly 24 hours ago when he was in Pie Town. This is what Justinus said.
So yeah, managed to close the gap a bit. But again, when things were going very well, my pedal fucking came off completely. Yes, hello. There's a kitty, little kitty in the pie house, the toaster house. Jumps into me.
So yeah, so that's Justinus. So that was when he was in Pie Town yesterday. I think he's just getting very frustrated about the fact he's had so many mechanicals, and every time he's closed the gap to Ulrich and chased back on, he's had another mechanical. I think it's just getting to him at this point. He did send me a video of his pedal.
I'll show you. This is my left pedal, it's there. And this is my right pedal. And the pedal is over there. Fuck.
So yeah, frustrating time for Justinus. It's a real shame that that he's had so many mechanicals, because we would have had such a smashing race with Ulrich and Justinus if they were pushing each other. I reckon they probably could have pushed each other hard enough to break that record had they managed to stay together. But you know, that's the Tour de Vie. It's not just about pedaling. It's about managing your bike. It's about getting through without mechanicals. It's about choosing the right equipment. And you know, all of that stuff does add up, and unfortunately Justinus has had issues, so he's now running single speed, and you know, with one pedal fully attached. So fair play to him for carrying on, but yeah, just don't think it's his year this year. Further back in third, Joe Nation, he's got to look over his shoulder a little bit, because Stephen Laherick has really pushed the sleep the last couple of days. If we look at the race flowchart, you can see he's just had really short sleeps. So it looks like he's on a bit of a charge. Whether he can maintain that to the finish remains to be seen. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting one for that final podium place. I mean, if we look at the run rest, Joe Nation is the faster rider on paper. He's sort of just under a mile an hour quicker when he's pedaling, but yeah, at this stage, you know, if Stephen can really fight those sleep demons, there is a fair chance he could close in on Joe, and we could have a nice drag race for third place. Interestingly, if we look at the moving average speed, Justinus is the fastest rider in the race. He's faster than Ulrich, but Ulrich's just managed to stop less, really. I suspect those mechanicals have had a big part to play in that, and yeah, just frustrating for Justinus, but you know, Ulrich's managed the race very well, so he's going to be a deserved winner. Further back down, so Steve Halligan, he's still running strong in fifth there, and Chris Burkhardt, he's also doing an awesome ride. He's still consistently just plodding along. Peter Kraft's closed in a lot as well, and then we've got Justin Smith and Cyrus Demarais, sorry about pronunciation. He's done an awesome ride, so he's actually riding single speed. He's taken the lead in the single speed race, but he's come from nowhere really. He's been lurking around, but had a really strong last couple of days, and now he is in the top 10. Lael Wilcox, she's been having some issues, so we did wonder why her pace had dropped off a little bit yesterday. Turns out she's been quite sick, and we'll have a little look into that in more detail shortly. But yeah, she's really had to slow her pace down, and that's just opened the door for Katya to close that massive gap. At one point it was 100 miles. Now we're looking at 20 miles, if that. So Lael's really got to keep looking over her shoulder. As Katya is closing in, and if she's been ill, is she going to be able to recover? And further back in our kind of chase pack in the women's race, Gail Brown still doing a storming race. She's now pretty much up with Andrea Huchin's single speed record, and she's got ahead of April Drage. And then we've got our little cluster of women here fighting for the final podium position. So Sasha Dow, she's been up front leading these women for the last kind of 4 or 5 days now. Alexandra Huchin is behind her, and Hannah Simon is in there as well somewhere. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting battle. It's going to be interesting to see if Gail can close down, because she's riding quite strong. She stopped quite a lot, and she was ill early, as we've discussed before, and it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So Gail's just going up Indiana Pass, and April as well. The others have got down the other side. So yeah, Gail's speed is going to be slightly slower for the next 2-3 hours, but I think once they're all over Indiana Pass, we should have a better kind of idea of that gap and how it stands. So that's definitely one to be watching over the next few days. Yeah, we might well be having the men's winner, but I think this race is going to be really fascinating to watch going forward. While I'm discussing the race and this coverage, I wouldn't be able to do it without Holyfat. So these guys have been helping me make this thing happen. They've got a range of products, so nut bars and nut butters, and yeah, they've been really great. Thanks so much for them. They've got some new products out as well, so check out their website. All the links and stuff are below in the description, and there's a little discount code as well if that's the kind of thing you're interested in. Right, let's have a little look at the course and what the riders are going to see over the next few days. So we've already discussed Ulrich is coming out of the Gila into Silver City. The Gila is probably the last real big test on the Divide route. It's probably not, if it was near the start, you wouldn't think anything of it, but the climbs are quite steep compared to how they have been. The climbs in Colorado and the start of New Mexico are all relatively smooth, but they're short and sharp in the Gila, and it just kind of deadens your legs a little bit. So I've got a little video from back in 2019. It's not the best video, I'm afraid, but it just gives you an idea. So you're on dirt roads like this, and yeah, you can see the climbs are relatively steep, and that can really make your legs burn. When you're 2 weeks at least into a Tour Divide. Once you're in Silver City, this is the last chance for any real resupply. There's bike shops and stuff there, there's restaurants, there's hotels, there's everything you could need. Once you pass there's nothing at all. You're heading into the desert, and there's just a few small settlements, one at Hachita, and there's a little gas station down here. And yeah, you need to have a big resupply here before the final push. You head out of Silver City on the road, as you can see on the Riber GPS file here. The red line is basically tarmac, and the checkered line is off-road. So yeah, on the road, and then you're into this desert section here. It's getting really warm by this point. So when I did it in 2019, you're hitting kind of 40 degrees C. So yeah, you just got to drink as much as you can. Basically just getting roasted by the desert. And it can be quite windy. Now the forecast is showing for headwinds for the leaders as they come through in the next few days, and that can make it a real drag. By this point, you pretty much just want to get the thing done. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting test. And then you're kind of back on tarmac for the finishing straight. It's a long finishing straight. So as soon as you turn off at Hachita, where are we? Where's Hachita? There. You've got just the long straight road, and there's a marker every single mile going down this road. So when I did it, I was just shutting my eyes every time I came to the mile marker, because I didn't want to know how far I had to go. But yeah, it's a funny old finish line. There's nothing there. It's not like you finish in a town. It's just a dead end road. The border with Mexico is at the end. It's just a big security fence, and yeah, normally there's no one there to meet you. Now, some of the leaders might have a bit of a crowd there, but generally speaking, there's no one there. So when I finished in 2019, it was midnight. Just ended up rolling up to the fence, stopping by the sign, take a quick photo, and then I just sat there and waited. And in the end, I got picked up. So there's a guy called Jeff Sharp. He's a local, lives in Cheetah, and he picks up riders and basically rescues them from the end of the Tour Divide, takes them back to his ranch, feeds them up, gives them some foods, and helps them with their onwards journey. So yeah, big shout out to Jeff and everyone else on the Tour Divide route who help the riders every single year. So that's what the front guys are going to be expecting in the next 24 hours or so, and yeah, that's what everyone else is going to expect when they get down there. Let's have a little dig into some of the stories. Now, we discussed Lael, that she was quite ill. This is basically what happened. She posted this on her Instagram yesterday, and it kind of explains why she dropped off the pace so drastically.
I crossed into New Mexico yesterday and came to this Hopewell Lake campground to sleep for a few hours, and I woke up in the middle of the night and threw up all over my bivvy. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna drink a electrolyte drink, lay down for a few more minutes, and then see how that goes. And then I woke up again and threw that all up. So I just slept for an extra 2-3 hours. I'm a little worried because I'm pretty dehydrated. I don't have any nutrition in me, so it's not great, but I guess I'm just gonna see what I can do.
So yeah, that was Lael. She's become unwell. Not sure whether she was dehydrated and that caused her sickness. That can happen, or whether she just got ill and then because she was sick, she's then been dehydrated. She then later posted that she ended up getting a drip in Abiquiu, I think, to try and rehydrate herself. So hopefully she's going to be okay, and hopefully she can carry on riding. But yeah, like I said, it's opened up the women's race now, and Katya has really closed down that gap. So it's going to be interesting to see that over the next few days. You know, if Lael really has missed a day of nutrition, that could really affect her further down the line. And yeah, going into like one of the hottest parts of the whole route, it could be troublesome for her. So we'll keep an eye on that. A nice little update from Alexandra as well. We're kind of on the theme of nutrition now. So this was Perez Pass, obviously, in Colorado. This is a funny little video.
Wow, that looks like a lot of food, huh? Oh wait, there's those to go too.
So what's that? 4, 5, 6,
wow, that
7.
Looks like a lot of food.
7 burgers, milkshake, a Coke. Looks like some chicken nuggets as well. So that is a Tour Divide resupply for you. It's not pretty, but you've got to get the fuel in somehow. You're always going to be underfueled on the Tour Divide, just no matter what you do. Riding 2 weeks solid, and you just can't physically eat enough to cover those energy requirements. So yeah, she's got a frame bag full of burgers, and she's good to go. So yeah, that's the Tour Divide for you. It's a glamorous life. Elsewhere, Steve Halligan. He is in Grants here, so yeah, just keeping out the heat by the looks of it, and trying to get some nutrition in, and then that long road. It's a grind against the wind, and obviously the wind's quite warm as well. So you're trying to keep hydrated the whole time, and yeah, Mother Nature's battling you the whole way in the Tour Divide. Another funny little story I found on Katya's Instagram. It looks like I'm imagining this is Abiquiu, and I imagine they kind of missed the opening hours, so the two of them were looking for some food.
Hey Caleb, what are we doing?
I'm looking for food.
Why are we looking for food?
'Cause I'm hungry, Katya. I'm very hungry.
I think we're hungry.
As you can see, the Tour Divide is probably starting to send them a little doolally. But yeah, I'd imagine they've missed a resupply, and they're just seeing if they can find some food to carry on. The gas station opens at 7 a.m. in Abiquiu. So if you're there at midnight and you don't want to stop for 7 hours, then I guess you have limited choices. But yeah. But it looks like they're having a good time anyway, which is the main thing. So spirits seem to be high. So right, yeah, that is all I've got for today. Be keeping an eye on the dots over the next few hours. I suspect tomorrow I'll be able to announce the winner of the Tour Divide. So yeah, keep an eye on those dots, and yeah, see you tomorrow with another update.